Hi, Mel.
Hi.
So we're here again today. Thank you for taking time.
Yes,
I know.
ma'am.
Videotaping.
Uh-huh.
Oh, videotape. I spent the weekend, I went through some of the videos. And it's funny to really watch yourself and really watch what we've been doing.
Start like in October, practically.
Where we've come from. I was like,
Yeah.
this is kind of crazy, but kind of good. It kind of all made sense when I watched everything together.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
what I tried to do was I gave you some copies of some things that we talked about last week about our next idea for our next circuit.
Yep.
I know my handwriting's not very poor, but I figured you could probably read along with me. And we talked about some restraints, how many the children are following the classroom rules, and overall just the increase in language in your classroom has been amazing. They're very engaged at circle time. And, you know, just I think there's some really great concrete values as we go on to the next, you know, the next circuit, the next part of the tiers for the pyramid. Then we talked a little bit about the having them talk more about their feelings, like owning their own feelings and doing some self-monitoring kind of stuff. And I know with you being the promoter for your learning style, I think of some different like fun ways we could kind of get that done without having too much information, because a lot of them are English as a second language.
Right,
and they're still learning that language, you know. So I was trying to like, okay, what other things can we really kind of do? Now, we talked about doing a goal with the thermometer.
Yeah.
You know, the feeling thermometer. Have you used the word thermometer with them yet? I'm just wondering.
No,
I
don't think so.
Okay.
No.
It's just, you know, and that's one of the things, and I gave you a blank copy of the skill strategy set in there too. That maybe we'll just put that down that we can like teach them what thermometer is.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good idea.
I was like, I don't know if we really use that.
Well, and I bet if we brought a thermometer in and like, you know, pretended to use it, I'm sure they would all be like, oh yeah, I've used that before. Right. You know?
You know, maybe I'll put that, I'm gonna write this down, but I gave you a blank one too if you wanted to take notes, but I'll
yeah, okay.
This is more for when we actually work on the skill set. Bring in thermometer, I'll put down like thermometer, like a description of it, because I was like, what if they even know what that means? Because it's kind of a big word.
It is a big word. It is a big word. But I think if you show it to them, they would all get it.
I think so too.
You know?
I think so too. So I was just thinking about that when I was taking some of the notes. But with doing the thermometer, I figured it's not as detailed as some of the like Thomas and, you know, the turtle and stuff. I think it might be a little more easy for them to. Yeah. It's very visual for them. I think it's very easy for you to promote during your circle time. You know. So with the strategy skill set, we're going to work on that a little bit, and then I wrote down some things that I don't forget to do. CD. What else did I want to talk about? Well, I think, you know, like we just said with the then they'll be able to understand their feelings. I think this is kind of a critical awareness thing for their own feelings, so you can have maybe even better, you know, group interaction, peer relationships. Because it seems they're getting along well. I mean, I see a lot of the friends talking, but I think, you know, like, as you said, you felt like you wanted to do a little more with the feelings. Yeah. And maybe this is a first step.
Sure, yeah.
And could maybe when there is a problem then in the classroom, after they've learned to address it during circle time with the thermometer. And they, you know, when people like, if they're upset, like, how are you feeling? You know. Yeah. Anyway, I just kind of think of like, why would this be important? I was trying to think too of different ways we could like vary it for other people, you know, for different kids. So let me show you a couple things I have. I know I got my whole training stuff out. I need a copy of it. But one of the things before we kind of go into it was, I know this is one that you and I have kind of both used in the past. The feelings thermometer. However, I wanted to show you this one too, which I think you might have actually used. This is from the Incredible Years. And it just has the relaxed and the tense. So it has a thermometer, and I can get this.
Oh yeah, I actually remember this lesson that you have them be relaxed and then tense.
What do you think? I mean,
I remember the lesson. I think it went well with the kids I did it for before.
I think this might be easier for them to understand than all the different faces, and I think maybe doing two emotions might be a good place to start. Yeah. You know, so you've already done this kind of thing before.
Yeah. So, but in a classroom a long time ago.
With kind of doing our our strategy set, is there any thing that you really thought was so you had them relax?
Yep. So that's so the lesson was that you have them feel relaxed and sort of see how their body feels.
Okay.
And then I would go around and pick up their arm and be like, "Oh, you're so relaxed." And then all of a sudden we would tense up. So I think that way too, the kids got to feel what it feels in their body.
Okay.
Too. They tense up their whole body, and we would try to pull on their arm, and oh, you're so tense.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Those are great. You know, I write these down.
I'm remembering it now. It's all coming back to me. I'm like, wait, I already did that lesson. Yeah.
But I just wonder with this group too, that would really help.
No, I think that's great.
Tense, relaxed, and maybe have them model and check it out. So I'll write this up better.
Yeah.
And check out feelings. So good. I'm even before we even get, I brought you copies of all the research and how the developmental continuum works with the self-regulation, self-control. Sure. Mm-hmm. A lot of this, I think that and the stages of self-regulation, which goes back to it goes back to a lot of us is our age tables with the TPBA.
Yeah.
But by this time they're supposed to be able to talk about their emotions, which is one thing I think with the English as a second language, and overall, I don't know what you've seen over the years. I think kids sometimes aren't quite here.
Right. Yeah.
At this age, I always feel like that's one of the things when I'm doing evaluations. I'm like, oh, you're not really doing that, so I'm going to encourage that.
Yeah.
So I think we both agreed, and then on page 5, they actually had talked about some strategies to provide predictability, which I think would be kind of good to have then to practice the feelings thermometer, the same time every day for whatever, a couple weeks, So whichever you felt would be best to fit in. I know we talked about the afternoon class, but then they might just have the same time every day and really start with that and have them at least, tell you. We talked about the goal, and I'm skipping around, but we talked a little bit about the goal the last time and how we would know if you met your goal. Mm-hmm. And tell me this, and this is what I wrote down for the last time. Tell me this is right. I wrote on top of yours too. Molly will reinforce 90% of the children in her afternoon classroom for telling her how they are feeling on the feeling thermometer. Because that way we know they're doing it.
Yeah.
And that if you're reinforcing them, then they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I figured if we could just start with the classroom, then maybe it would expand off that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think so.
And like I said, hopefully then maybe if they could start seeing how they feel, self-regulate, then knowing they're tense or knowing they're relaxed.
Right.
And when they get tense, they can calm down or go in the cozy corner. You can give them those alternatives. I just thought it'd be a great, way to kind of get that self-regulation back into your classroom again. In an easy way, I think. An easy way.
Yeah.
Any other, does that make sense?
I think
we're on the
absolutely.
Same page.
Yeah, no, it definitely does.
I feel like we're on the same page. It sounds like you've done a lot of this before, so what I want to do is kind of look at, I know one time too we talked about the thermometer, and I remember one time I was on a playground years ago, and I had a kid, and I think I just used sad and mad, and him going like, I'm so mad, like the picture. Like I remember I was teaching him stuff.
Right.
So I think,
You're like, that's right, you are.
But that's like generalizing the information too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we do our strategy skill set, so do you think bringing in a real thermometer would help?
I think so.
I can get you one too.
Because then they, they kind of know what that is.
I have one at home. I just used when I was sick.
Ah, see, there you go.
I'll clean it.
I'll clean it.
Maybe even talk a little bit about what a thermometer does, or
right.
Go back to
because it shows us how we're feeling.
How we're feeling.
And
the whole feeling thing is such a hard.
It is such a hard concept for them.
But I kind of like the idea of the thermometer, and I will print one off in color as well.
Sure.
Before we do our modeling, and maybe do the tense and relax. So great.
Cool.
I'm gonna write this up if that's okay for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe we can meet next Monday.
Sure.
Would that be okay?
That would be great.
Would that be okay? Let me ask you this one. It's gonna be a pain for you, I know, though. But could we meet next Monday at lunchtime? Is that possible, or do you have
Should
IEPs?
be. Let me see. I think this week was more IEP heavy than next week.
I know. Just because what I would like to do is model it for you or have you do a behavioral.
Oh, I have jury duty next Monday. I might be out next Monday.
Darn, okay.
I might not have jury duty, though. I have to call in the night before.
If you don't, whatever.
Okay, so
Just
if
let
I
me know.
don't...
If we don't, we'll do it after my spring break.
Okay.
It's fine. But I
Okay.
figured if we can try for next Monday to do like a practice, which I think is going to be pretty easy for you. It sounds like you've done a lot of this before. You know, we can just coach through it and then you can do
Yeah.
it on Monday afternoon. That can be pretty easy.
Here you go. I have to get a copy of this to qua. Yeah, here's my jury duty.
And then next Wednesday, then it sounds like we might be okay to meet with Jen about the
Oh,
behavior.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Cool. Okay.